Hi guys, Brad McKinnon here, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taping internal corners or angles, square stop, square set it's called throughout the world, and we'll just be going through it with you today, just the whole process. So as you can see here, got a bit of a renovation job where they've just added some internal walls into a bigger room, just to divide up the room into a couple of bedrooms. And so you can see here the ceilings are painted and the walls have just been sort of added in there. So I'm just taping in these angles and then the uprights or the internal corners as well. So I'm just coating up each side as I go. I've pre-cut my paper tape and I'm just going to fold it there down the crease in the center line, and we'll just install it there. These are nice low ceilings. I think they were 2.1 meter or 2.2 meter high, so just working off the floor. So then I'm just going to come back now and just press that tape into the compound and just clean off each edge as I go. I'll sort of talk you through the process on the next one there. So the compound I'm using is just a ready mixed all-purpose compound, so it's can be used for all three coats, and I prefer to use the all-purpose when working on paint as well. On a painted surface, I just feel it has a better adhesion. So here we are, we're going to do this one over here now, just clean off any bits first, and then I'll just start on the, I like to start on the side where there is no gap. So you can see here the ceiling has no gap against the wall, but the wall side has a bit of a gap towards the ceiling. So whatever side doesn't have the gap, I'll start with. And then you'll see why here now, because as you're putting the compound on, you're sort of filling in that gap. If you do it the other way, then you'll just be sort of pulling it out of the gap, if you know what I mean. So that's the way I sort of like to do it. You want to get a nice layer of compound on there. You don't want to see any plasterboard underneath or through the compound, so you want a full coverage there. Again, I've just got all my tape pre-cut. I've just rolled it out on the ceiling just to measure it on each wall. And then putting the tape in, I just like to sort of hold it up with my left hand and then just push it in with my right hand as I go. I always like to pre-fold my tape. You can do it straight from the roll. And then cleaning off, I like to start with the side I did second. So the wall side I coated second, so I like to start with cleaning that off because of that gap. If I started with the top side, I'd be sort of pushing the tape into that gap. But starting this way, I'm just sort of filling in that gap, and then I can clean off the top side there. So I'm just pressing that tape in and then coming back and just cleaning off that edge so it's nice and clean. Just pressing the tape in and then just come back and clean off that edge. So we've done our angles first, and now we'll do our walls. So here we're just measuring the tape here. I just run it down the wall and cut it off to length. So I need 3 of them, 3 internals in this room, or 3 upright internals. And the reason I like to do the top side first, or the top angles first, so because there's a skirting on the walls, you can just lift the tape up to the top, just get a nice tight finish. So here again I've got that sort of gap on the other side of the angle there, so I'll do that second. So I'll just fill this side first. Then I'll just run the compound down. I'm just going to run it over the top of the tape that I've already done. Just measure that one there. There's a bit of skirting already installed, so we'll just measure those to the right length, which I don't think I did on the last time. So nice and tight up to the ceiling, and just squeeze it, push that in with your fingers, nice and tight into the corner. And then just start cleaning off with the opposite side you started with. So pressing that tape in, forcing the mud out, and then just coming up the edge there. So I'm on the edge of the tape, just cleaning off the edge of the tape and the edge of the compound there that's built up there. And there I'm just going to fill over that where it meets it there, just to make that nice and tidy. So I've got a nice little tight one here, so you can see the gap there, so that's why I'm starting with that side, so I can fill the gap when I come down the other side. Just rolling the knife up as I go, just to get the compound on. Sometimes it's easier to go sideways just to get the compound on. Any which way you find's best for yourself. As long as there's enough compound on there, you don't want to see any plasterboard underneath. Or through the compound, I should say. That's when you get bubbling. Just nice and tight up into that internal there. So, yep, starting with the opposite side I did. So again, just pressing that tape in, then just coming up the edge of the tape, and the edge, the plaster there, just cleans it all off in one go. We're just going to sort of fill over the edges there, just to make it a bit easier for the final coat when it's all dry. So once these are all, everything's dry, I'll be back the next day to sync coat or final coat, and what I'll be doing is just one side at a time and letting that dry, and then coming back and doing the other side of the internals. So there'll be a video on that, so if you're keen to see how I do the final process, so just keep an eye out for the next video. Again, just applying a nice even amount of compound up each side. Again, you don't want to see any drywall or plasterboard through the compound. That's when you'll get bubbling in your tape, so make sure you got a nice layer on there. Cover everything and you'll be fine. So that's just about it. I hope you enjoyed that one, and stick around for the next video on how to finish internals. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you on the next one.